I'm a boomer now. I don't know what's happening.
God, I really haven't seen it, but I'm sure he has a fancy ePogo.
All right, it looks like we've reached the hour mark, at least according to the Discord bot.
No, you just switched the scenes.
I'm just
Yeah,
dumb.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm pinging them anyway. I'm bored.
Okay.
Why can't I ping Sour? There we
Because he's so sweet.
go. When I do @Sour, it immediately gives me. Oh shit! I'm sorry. I'm bad. Dude, I set an
Morning,
alarm.
Pun.
Good morning. I'm sorry.
Oh, not quite ready. Give him a few more seconds here. You want to do the countdown?
Do I get to? Insane.
Let's go.
Alright, they're counting down. We just have some stream delay.
Yep.
Nice safety alarm 3 seconds before. That alarm isn't even for the race. I just have an alarm at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Tom will not be late. If I woke up to that alarm, I was in big trouble.
Yeah.
I literally had a dream last night that I missed the Sour vs. Monster race. But there was also, in my dream, like a fire alarm the whole time. And there was a fire, so I had a good excuse.
That's wild.
Alright, they should be starting now.
Yep, don't worry about any desynchronization right at the beginning. Our volunteer will be able to sync that up for us. Very professional about it. So interestingly today, Sour Cream and Monsta have opted not to use the load normalizer because it messes with cycles, and this is going to be a very high level race. Provided their computers are similar power, we should see fairly close times still, especially since they should be going through relatively the same amount of load zones. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it'll work out. Without the load normalizer, you really need to have like Monster who falls from the platform, like incredibly close computer performance. Hopefully they stay within a few seconds. If not, and the race is still close, we might end up needing a resync at some point, but we'll see how it goes. Monster with a 54 Kings Pass, you hate to see it.
Hate to see it. 52 would be the number that most runners would be looking for as a perfect start to a race. 51 being even better, but a little harder to obtain without resetting a few times. But both our runners did do warm-ups.
Yeah, I saw both of them were doing warm-ups, and then both of them were playing like another game an hour before. I feel like that's kind of a strat too. Like people do that in professional sports where they'll do something different just to like take their mind off it.
I mean, I've not seen what Monsta was doing, but what's better than Minecraft to relax, right?
Yeah, Sour's doing Minecraft. Monster's playing like a turn-based game like under 10 minutes ago. I know Monster actually thought the race was an hour ago because time zones and daylight savings and all that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's rough. So it looks like with that grudge drop, Howard did take a hit while Monster was able to get clean through, and that pretty much equalized that 2-second difference.
Monster's struggling. He had trouble with the first aspect and missed the double spike.
Ooh. But, so that will give Sour a very slight edge.
Yeah, something to note too is, of all the top runners, Monsta is the one that is very much known for not having a very good early game. His early game's fine, it's nothing like abysmal, but you'll see people like Axe and Pest and, you know, pretty much anyone else in the top, like, 10 of all skills, shoot for like a 330, 331 VS, or they'll reset. Monsta's the opposite, where he'll kind of take whatever VS, and then he's just so good at the mid and late game that it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, and even in his world record, he said that his early game was pretty meh. Like he was like, oh, the one was whatever until Soul Sanctum, and then after that he was really good. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, chat pointing out Monsta's Geo is comfy. Geo is probably more important in all skills than any other category. There's so many places you can get Geo and so many places you can skip. The number we're shooting for, of course, and it's going to come up later, is the 800 geo for dash slash, but even the 7 geo difference can make a difference between Monsta and Sour.
Yeah, the way I describe the geo situation is it's very flexible, whereas in any percent, so much of it is locked in these precise amounts that are always in the same place, and the relics. But this is the one category that doesn't grab relics to go to Lem. So everything is just like, you can miss some geo here, you can pick up some geo later, and there's never any really solid number where you get, or area where you get like 100% of the geo, and no, the exact number you're supposed to have.
Yeah, there are just so many enemies you can kill on the way, and even furthering his lead on geo, Monsta is at 27 going into VS, which is like unheard of high, to be honest.
Yeah, I've personally never had that much, but maybe he had that badass with Arena and realized he was like, okay, well, I can grab. I mean, Double Spike does pretty typically send geo scattering everywhere, right?
Yeah, I think it's actually an improvement to like the pogo method they used years ago. But if you mess up Aspen Arena, odds are you're going to be running around the arena a lot more, so you'll kind of coincidentally pick up more geo.
That's true.
Either way, we have a 4-second lead for Sour. Monsta with a 335, Sour with a 331. It's interesting. I see Rick's in chat. Rick's, by the way, huge shout-outs. Always keeping the times for all these races. I don't know how they end up being awake for literally all of them. But Rick's timing VS, it looks like based on when the VS animation came up or something, which I think might be how Current Patch does it. I know Current Patch has some weird, like, auto timer thing with VS.
I think he's just a legend. That's the explanation. Did Monsta get 2 spits? Where did he get extra soul?
Monsta got a sick hit through the right wall that you can do for an extra hit of soul, which doesn't really do anything, but it's fun to do if you're waiting for the Balder anyway.
Okay, that's great. Did not see that. Yeah, Sour, I think I should probably switch the audio. Sour does have, I would say, significant for how early it is.
Yeah, Sour probably at about 5 seconds now. Yeah, I would switch the audio. There's not too much that'll differentiate the time super early game. You might see someone mess up the Moss Knights or someone mess up a Hornet fight, maybe a Fireball skip, but I'd expect Sour to keep the lead through Green Path, especially with how good his early game is.
Yeah.
I'm calling out my degen hours. See, it's not even degen hours, Rix, because if it were degen hours, you wouldn't be awake during, like, normal times, but you're literally awake for every race. I don't understand.
Anyway, we did see both runners get the first Fireball skip. They both killed the Balder with the very well-known glitch, the one-hit Balder kill. Just hits the Balder 4 times for 1 Fireball, basically. Pretty easy. And we see Sour get the second Fireball skip, as you'd expect. Monsta having done all of his soul collection. I'm quite interested in where they jump for these birds. It's just right after that platform got it. Because I normally jump before the platform to collect that soul, but yeah.
Yeah, jumping... Well, let's watch these skips. Okay, they both make it. Yeah. Jumping before the platform is a little safer to get the soul from the birds, but it loses a little bit of time because you get stuck on the platform for a fraction of a second.
Yeah, those missed
jumping
frames.
after. Yeah, jumping after is harder, but it's technically better if you don't need like 3 soul or something.
Monsta missed the kill on that Moss Charger. Not that he needed the Geo, but he did manage to get onto the other side of it without taking damage. Most people would damage boost off of that, so that was cool to see him do that, because damage boosting would lose you a few frames over doing what he did there.
Yeah, I'm so scared to do that, because I feel like I'm going to hit him, and if I try to land on the platform, it'll mess up my inputs, and I'll fall in the acid and cry.
Yeah.
Nice.
I did not see if Sour got that double.
He did. He wouldn't have this much soul if he didn't.
Yeah, that's true. There's plenty of soul going into the Moss Knight. Sounds like he got good RNG. He did, but the Moss Knights are lined up and ready for him. And he just goes ahead and grabs all this Geo. This is as opposed to getting the Vengefly King. Monster. I've seen him do this every race, I think, going up to say hi to the Vengefly King, and really shows out that he's very intentionally neglecting him. But in the meantime, Sour's on great pace for Green Path. Probably going to see a sub 8 from him, which, I mean, I guess we'll see that from both runners. But
Yeah, you'll be close
definitely,
to a 7-4x from Sour. MonStah, I expect a 7-5x. His Crossroads was worse. His green path was a little bit less clean than Sour. Double? Ah, it doesn't matter. That's a good fight.
oh, it's going to be real close to 4x. Can't get it, but 5x from him. Not the cleanest fight from Sour, I don't think, but I didn't pay too much attention to the RNG of it. I'm not the best Hornet fighter myself, so.
Yeah, look, I still fight Hornet like it's 2019. I don't know what a good Hornet fight is. Actually, MonStah made up a lot of time. What the? MonStah's like 2 seconds behind now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess that Hornet fight actually lost Sour some time.
Yeah, because he was definitely at least 5 seconds ahead walking into the room.
Yeah. Worth noting, by the way, it looks like even without the load normalizer, these guys have pretty similar PCs.
Yeah.
I think MonStah might be a bit slower, but it's not devastating like we've seen in some races, especially round 1.
Yeah, if it gets to like 30 seconds apart, we might call for a resync, but before that, resyncing will be basically pointless because they'll keep desyncing throughout the race.
Yeah, I see it in chat, and we'll say it again. That's a fun skip from Sour. The reason that we're using Sour's audio right now is because Sour's ahead. It's just how we run things. We don't pick favorites. Just whoever's ahead is the audio we're probably going to be using.
Yeah, it does help to also explain like any glitches or tricks that come up. You know, any audio cues we might hear for when Sour's, you know, that dash was not exactly optimal, but MonStah's gonna make it through the bottom path. I didn't see what path Sour took there, but that means he will be a little short on soul.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good demonstration, Sour's fungal versus MonStah's fungal. Sour probably saves a few seconds on MonStah, but like it's kind of how MonStah rolls. Like he doesn't do these crazy early game optimizations. He just plays solid and plays solid enough that he gets world records. So
yeah. It's crazy that it's all that takes. People who are newer to the speedrun scene sometimes assume that the world record has basically, you know, no mistakes in it or whatever, but honestly, most of it is just solid gameplay. You'll see them in Pest's new 32-45. I see him miss a jump in Ancestral Mount. And it's like, there's just stuff like that. It adds up. It means that there's never going to be a perfect world record. And yep, solid gameplay is all you need. And MonStah makes that Mantis Pogo with just two dashes and 2 pogos. Exactly what you'd want to see. Kind of glossed over E Pogo, but I assume if you're watching this race, you're probably pretty familiar with it.
yeah, the thing is, these guys are good enough where it's almost, I won't say it's entirely, but it's almost not worth mentioning stuff like that, just because like they just succeed at it. Like
Yeah.
it's not a scare if they're gonna get E Pogo, if they're gonna get Mantis Pogo.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh. Now we're losing a little bit of time there to unfortunate fall, but does make it back up without taking any damage. Damage doesn't matter too much on the split anyway. They'll just be fighting the Gruzmother and then immediately taking a bench. Sometimes I wish when I'm on like 1 HP after Gruzmother, like a really terrible fight. Or a terrible path there. I'm just like, I wish I could just die without taking the bench and save some time. But that's unfortunately not how it goes.
Yeah, I remember like when I was first learning 80% a long time ago, I'm like, oh, I can make an optimization over the route by taking all this damage like before Gruzmother intentionally. And then you realize like, no, people might have thought about that and you might be on the bench.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny that it would be faster if benches didn't heal us. Like optimally, task-wise at least, it would be faster if we didn't heal from benches, which I think is hilarious.
That is actually a fantastic thought. But no heals on benches would mean a lot of farming soul, I think. If you're just playing casually, obviously. But
No, yeah.
Sour's cleanup was okay. He definitely let some escape to the top. We'll see MonStah's here.
Ooh.
Oh, totally whiffs that second fireball.
And the third.
And the third.
Worth mentioning,
Oh,
MonStah
man.
still has this 15 Geo lead. He's been maintaining. Go ahead.
Oh no, and that should, if anything, it will probably end up being time save in the King's Path or King's Station split as they're exiting the city. Probably not going to see Monsta skip any of the hopper rows, but Sour's holding on to this lead pretty well. That's some. Actually, I just noticed the difference in their timer. Actually, has almost reached 30 seconds.
Yeah, Sour definitely with the faster PC here. But yeah, I think that's almost what you expect. I think Sour's early game in general is actually going to be better than Monster's. Sour just needs to find a way to hold that lead through mid and late game. Because it's insane how consistent Monster won't make a mistake mid and late game. Which, it's so hard to say that about anyone, but if you're going to say it about anyone, it's Monster.
Yeah. Also, someone in chat asking if the speedrunners can hear us. They can hear and see us if they want to. It's entirely up to them. There's no rule against it. So it's entirely up to them. Some runners like to turn everything off and concentrate. There are some runners who will be reading chat and listening to comms at the same time. So it's really just a personal choice. And I didn't ask whether they'd be watching.
Yeah, I know Viz and Rhino have had some stuff to say about that. Not in terms of being against it, but like I think they both kind of debate optimally, I guess, or strategically if it's best to hear or not hear. Because I think, and I don't really want to be putting words in people's mouth, this is just kind of what I remember, that Rhino said like he was watching the races, but then it ended up like making him more nervous, and then he didn't watch a race and then lost by 1 second or something. Like, I don't know. There's strategy to it for sure if you want to put it there.
Yeah, absolutely. So and this split is very straightforward. After the Shade skip, basically they just collect some geo from some enemies, then go on to the Golden Husk. Monsta, as I predicted, not skipping any enemies in this area, probably going to just save up as much money as he can and skip on the King's Pass split.
Monsta has absurd amounts of geo. Yeah, the King Station split. This is an ugly husk.
He's actually at the threshold where if he grabs all of this geo, which he didn't, but that's fine. I was gonna say if he grabs all of this geo, he could skip a hopper row, but I still think he probably wouldn't. His hopper strat's quite neat, and we'll see Sours here in a minute. So he goes for a pogo start, and yeah, farming lots of soul. Probably just gonna spam the fireballs on these guys a bit. Ooh, an under.
Yeah, that little up slash is pretty fun. I know Comsob doesn't do that anymore. Comsob on the second row actually waits for some reason. Like, it just vibes, and then you forward slash, which is kind of funny to see in, like, the fastest anyone's ever done the split. But what Sour's doing has been kind of considered the fastest strat for a while.
Oh, that's nice. And we'll see monsters here. I believe he goes for under slashes on both rows of hoppers. Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I've seen that one before. And then he'll do the same thing for this one. Go right under it. Yep.
Dude, that's so cool.
And yeah, both runners just spam the fireballs on these guys, not even touching the last one with their nail. And yep, 844 Geo. He's going to finish with 44, and Sour's finishing with 30. So actually, Sour's closed to the Geo lead, but yeah, Monster foregoed. Foregoed? I don't know. He let some Geo go for the Golden Husk when he realized it fell to the other side of the room, and he didn't want to dash back for it. Probably a smart decision. Not going to question it personally.
Yeah, unfortunately for Sour, and I hesitate to say fortunately, I mean strategically for Sour, I don't think the Geo is going to make too much of a difference. 31 Geo, you're hardly going to have to go out of your way for things. Obviously 44 Geo, you're not going to have to go out of your way either, but I don't think we'll see this ending up as a big time difference. I think it'll just kind of, the Geo's going to work out for both of them with this high counts.
Oh my goodness.
Do you believe? Yeah. No, he tried.
Oh. No, I don't know what you were talking about. I was seeing that there's no difference in their times anymore.
No, Sour had... Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. But Sour had, he tried for the triple wall cling storage off of the elevator. He got 2 of them, and then thought he got the 3rd, and went for that, like, jump that you'll see, like, jumping in the air, you'll see Comsob do. Right. But he didn't jump because he didn't get it. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that wall cling storage is really fun. It was fairly recently, decided it is in MG to do it off the elevator. You'll see Monster not do it. He'll also hit the elevator down, which you don't need to do at all, but probably true ending muscle memory.
So Sour here is going to be entering one of the most heavily RNG'd areas. He's just going to shoot 2 fireballs at this guy. It'll mean he
Yeah.
has slightly less soul going into the Soul Sanctum, but there's plenty to collect along the way. He should be fine. It's just about what you're comfortable with, really. If he were to get a double hit, that would have been slightly faster and saved him some soul. But the way he's doing it shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, coming into there with full soul, it shouldn't really matter. You'll see Sour's at 4 soul now. It looks like 5. It's a little deceiving.
Just see, Monster just saved a grub with a dash slash.
Oh yeah, you could do that.
He barely even stopped for it. That was the fastest grub save I've ever seen. Yeah, really showing off his confidence. He also went for an object pogo that I've never seen before. But coming up, we're gonna see Sour try to quick kill this Soul Warrior. Should be 2 double hits with a fireball and 4 nail slashes. Probably starting off the fight with 2. There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And he just gets that last nail hit in. This Soul Warrior actually started his teleporting animation, but Sour said no.
Sour said no.
I didn't realize... So Sour doesn't go for that little lamp pogo at the end of those wall jumps. I thought you had to be able to clear the platform, but he proves me wrong.
No, I've done that as well. I was surprised to see... Rhino was the one who I saw demonstrate that lamp pogo, and I was surprised the first time I saw it. So
That's a fun wall cling storage. Sour actually jumped midair over a gap.
And here we'll be seeing Sour go for a quick kill on the Soul Master this time, not the Soul Warrior.
Ooh. Monster with a good Soul Warrior fight. This is perhaps the biggest RNG in the run you'll see from Sour right here. Good.
Oh, exactly what you want to see.
He wants a double. Actually, he's got enough hits it should be, yeah. That's a pretty good kill.
I sometimes make the mistake of holding on to a fireball hoping for a double when I should probably just be sending it and collecting more.
Yeah, Sour played it very well. He got the doubles he needed to. He just didn't get Soul Master like going in a line and getting a double. We'll watch the second phase here. I thought he was doing the other thing.
The Valley strat.
This is so jank, what the heck? You'll see what Monster does. It's pretty similar to what Sour did, except Monster goes over Soul Master, so he doesn't get hit by it. But I like the spamming up slashes. Monster getting the same pattern as Sour, actually.
Yeah, but a little better RNG there, or better gameplay, one of the two. Will definitely save him some time here. Would not be surprised if he's ahead after this fight.
Yeah, maybe marginally fast. I still expect Sour to be in the lead, but I'm not sure. We'll see it. 18-24 Sour leads. To me,
up that dash flash for this dash
Monster does this. Here. Holy, Monster's insane. Dude, Monster with 2.5 dives with the insane like up slash pogo. He gets a fake dive in there. That's such a sick strat, dude.
Ah, Sour missing that little wall cling there, but adjusting to where he didn't take damage initially.
Yeah, 2 health may be a little scary. Not for a PB, but for a race, perhaps. And it looks like you're right. Okay, you would have been right.
I still am right.
You're still right, yeah.
Still right.
Monster ahead by 1 second.
Very slightly to Monster. We could get a resync going here.
Yeah, you can ping. I'll change the audio.
This might not be... I don't know. I don't know how many resyncs we're going to try to go for here, but...
We're like 2/5 through the run, right? We could probably survive with like 2 resyncs. In the meantime, I'll give Monster the audio. We'll get to hear Soul Sanctum more than we maybe would have.
It's actually a blessed soundtrack. I really like it. So we'll see Sour's stream freeze for about 30 seconds, so don't be alarmed when that does happen. It'll just be how they resync it, and once it unpauses, the timer should be much closer.
Yeah.
They'll grow apart again as the race goes on, but it should at least help us keep a little closer track of how far apart they are.
Yeah, you'll see how little this geo matters too. I mean, Sour's already at 308, and Sour had the lower geo count going into this. MonStah will be almost done after just this room alone.
Yeah, but he'll still have to collect the soul and do that dive, so.
Yep.
Won't be too like he'll be over geoed, and having extra geo doesn't do anything because once we get the Watcher Knight chest, geo routing is done. Or
I love
rather,
the word
geo routing is done as soon as you have the render geo here.
I love the word over geoed. That's a beautiful word. Yeah, like again, this is kind of a minor thing, but you'll see like MonStah doesn't know exactly where to dive on that breakable floor. Like you can dive further left. It might be intentional too, but what I see from MonStah most of the time is like he doesn't learn these things that save like 0.1 seconds, which maybe you'd have to learn for any percent, but he's so good at the game and so good at the fights that like he's saying, why would I save 0.1 seconds when I already saved 2 seconds on every single boss fight? And like there's some truth to that too.
Yeah. And I was just gonna say, looking ahead, we're heading into the split that has probably ended the most races single-handedly. Crystal Peaks and after that D-Dark. Both of them pretty dangerous, though I would not expect to these runners. It's a lot of methodical movement here. It's all cycle-based. So once you have everything memorized, there is not too much of a threat of danger here. Nerves can shake people off sometimes, but both these runners are 3-0. They've demonstrated that they can handle the pressure.
Yeah, the thing that could be scary is they're very close. I don't know if they've had a race, either of them, where they've been this close going into Peaks, so they might take Peaks a little riskier than they would otherwise. Nice. I'm readjusting. Sour gets Pogax, though. You love to see it. We'll see if he gets God Pixel. It's a good split so far from Sour. We'll see if MonStah goes for Pogax. I don't remember if he does, actually. Sour misses God Pixel, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just heard him. I was in a voice chat with him pretty soon before he started the race, and I heard him say, like, oh man, I really had that God Pixel. No. It's a really tight trick. Pretty easy to miss even when you feel like it's on point.
Is Pogax actually quicker if you have Shade Soul? Marginally. Like, Pogax saves 2 seconds over the any percent route. That's if you damage tank, and Shade Souling is not much faster than damage tank, so I'd expect like 1.5 best case.
A little bit of messed up movement. Yeah. We might not have an opportunity to go for either, yeah. Just go straight all the way around.
Yeah, from
God Cycle or God Pixel. Yeah.
The nice thing about messed up movement in that room is you're like, I didn't want to mess that up. But then you're in a room where like it's kind of cycle based anyway, so you can just not go for God Cycle and not lose much time anyway.
Yep. Yeah, that is nice as well. And most of these rooms have backups because once you mess up the cycle, you either have to leave the room to reset it or you have to use one of the backups. And depending on where you are in the room, the backups can be, resetting the room could be very slow and potentially dangerous. So I'm sure they all know their backups.
MonStah with a nice dash/storage there, by the way. A pretty weird trick, but it's been utilized a couple times in this run now.
Yeah, I called out the dash/storage earlier in Sanctum, but I can't quite remember who did it.
Underplat from MonStah? Underplat from MonStah. You love to see it.
Ooh, Sour falls in the dark room. I mean, yeah, he'll have to reset it. There's an opportunity for MonStah to take a definitive lead here. Is that I would estimate at least 5 seconds, maybe more.
I mean, he had to leave and re-enter too. I would guess more. I'd guess like 5 to 10.
I mean, leaving and re-enter is mostly load time, right?
It's mostly load, but I think you get like a second on either end. I could be wrong.
Okay, that's fair. No, I think you're about right, because it's when it comes to memorizing movement like that, the axe clip comes to mind, and I saw that that timer ticking.
Oh, that's really
Oh,
bad.
that's not what you want to see. Does he
It's
heal?
not
Oh,
a
he does heal,
death.
right?
Yeah, you heal here. It's not a death, which is good. It's really scary to take damage in that room because you can get hit like twice so easily with a hazard
Yeah.
respawn.
And then if you have a crystal hunters in the wrong place, the crystal hunter can shoot at your spawn and place a crystal. Oh, the
A
resync
fun
is
time
happening
for a
right now.
resync, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about earlier with like Monsta holding Sour holding the early game lead. Like you have to play so well throughout the entire game to hold a lead against Monsta. And like these mistakes aren't uncommon, right? Just getting hit in this room, missing the dark room. Everyone does that, but it'll cost you some time versus Monsta here.
Yeah, it's like everyone does it, but does Monster do that? Oh, I guess there's no contradictions there because Monster is not in fact everyone.
Yeah, so we have about an 11-second lead, just based off when Monster's screen looked like Sour's screen, more or less.
Yeah. Interestingly, it seems that we've resynced the visuals instead of the timer. Don't think is what we were going for, but that's all right. It brought it closer. It's gonna drift apart again anyway.
Yeah, we'll probably get one more resync toward the end. But this is rough for Sour. I mean, that's Sour's first like real mistake. I don't think Sour's done anything else that lost too much time. The hoppers were a little scuffed, but even
not at all. I mean, slow master fight, but I don't think that's a mistake. Just a difference in strats. Monster goes for a faster strat, and he got it.
Yeah, I'm actually curious how the Soul Master went because the Soul Warriors were about the same. Sanctum seemed about the same. To me, the Soul Master fight seemed about the same time. Although Monster's second phase was faster, you're right. Yeah. Wow, they're really visually synced. We'll see the C-Dash here.
Will they go for under plat 2?
Yeah, Monster actually cancels it. I've been seeing Pisces do that recently, where instead of like hitting that platform and dashing under, you just cancel before it and dash.
So I saw Vis cancel it so early, and he just barely made the dash. And apparently he did that because he knew he was ahead, and he actually had not practiced a strat, so he just didn't know where to do it. I thought he was showing off, but he was just like, he just randomly stopped at the right time.
Like he meant to fall on a different platform and accidentally went on the last one. We'll see the Watcher Knights fight here. The Watcher Knights fight can have some RNG in it. Generally, I expect the runners to be pretty close in terms of times. The more RNG section that I'd expect is the Isma's Basin thing after this. And that's not RNG so much as it is performance, but you can definitely just make a couple mistakes and really lose a lot of time there. So we'll see how well they do on that. But first, there's the Watcher Knight fight, of course.
Yeah. So we'll be seeing the runners will be looking for the Watcher Knights to stay close together so that they're vulnerable to these D-Darks. Yeah, Shade Soul there will give Monster a quick kill on that first knight. Now, yep, they're staying right next to each other. Exactly what you want to see. Die in sync. Perfect.
These guys know the dream nail timings for those two knights so well. Like, I always get hit by one of the nail hits, but they're like so precise. Sour actually ends up with a pretty quick kill. The guy rolled back, which helped a lot.
Yeah, considering how the nasty RNG there, not bad. Alright, he goes for a triple Shade Soul to start. I did not see actually how Monster handled that third set, but kills him quite quick.
Yeah, I think Monster had a little bit of a faster fight than Sour, but they're pretty close. I don't think there's more than like a second or two difference that happened from that split. The thing here is Sour needs a way to make up time, which is so hard. Like, I don't know where. I guess Hornet 2 is a fight that has a decent amount of RNG in it and some movement. Sour really struggling here. There's nerves that come with missing that jump. There's Hornet 2. Broken Vessel is like a little bit, like if you include the full split. I don't know. THK.
I heard an interesting stat from either, I think it was Valley or Rhino, that every Shade Soul parry from Hornet loses 4 seconds. Like, oh my goodness. Like, at least 4. I guess if it would have double hit, it would be worse. But yeah.
Really? That surprises me. I would think 4 seconds on a double. I guess you
Yeah.
have to waste like the animation frames, plus like you missed your Shade Soul, plus she slashes afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be like a rough guesstimate, right? But
Yeah, 4 seconds is a lot of time though.
it really is. It really is. It's just interesting to hear a number put to that.
Yeah, we'll see Rick's in chat here saying 5 seconds difference from the Watcher Knights fight. Some of that was the fight itself. Monsta had a bit of a faster fight. Some of it was Sour's wall jumping toward Lyrian. Sour had some struggles with that at the very end.
Tragic. But you'll see farm up some soul. He's on 666. Quite the number of Geo there. It looked like, oh no, Sour is 358 it looks like? Is that 350?
358, I would guess.
Okay.
I mean, if you don't know the route, it doesn't matter too much. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Monsta gets the spike tunnel as expected. But yeah, after the Watcher Knight's chest, Geo's kind of home free. You just have to not royally mess up.
Yeah.
And the fireball for safety. Sour gets the spike tunnel. Yeah, these guys are too good, man.
For sure. Yeah, I don't even know where to be like, where's the hype moments when you know they're going to make it through?
I mean, they're giving us a close race. Sour was set up, Monsta with setup list, by the way. I've started to learn setup. Ah, dude, that's nerves from Sour. Like, Sour gets that 99 times out of 100. He's just, like, trying to save every microsecond he can.
Trying to land just on the far end of the platform so he can jump a little farther.
I don't even know if it was that so much as, like, a brain fart, more or less, where he's just like, do I land this side? Do I go on this platform, what do I do, you know? Like,
yeah, that's true. That can definitely happen.
Sour lost 3 HP, so one's from the intentional whorp, one's from that acid dunk. I don't know where the other one was, actually. I was not paying attention. But 2 HP is scary to go into this C-dash. We'll see what he does. You can play this safe and try to react. I wonder if he'll do that. Yeah, he actually would have made that, but he reacted to the guy being low, and the guy floated higher as he reacted.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to know if they're going to get out of your way. There's really easy spawns where you can tell they're not going to be a problem, but sometimes they spawn like right in the way, just not sure. You're gonna move.
Yeah, there's an even tighter reaction time test on the like coming out of teachers' archives. I don't know what these guys do for that, but you can try to cancel your C-dash if the jelly's in your way.
Yeah. That's a good one. The punishment for that being pretty harsh if you're doing it during the Howling Great Split and not during the Great Slash Split.
It's definitely reactable. It's like on the edge of people's reaction time. So different people will go for different things. Also, like, the way reaction time works, the more you've tried that, the better you'll be at reacting to it as well.
Right.
Oh, Sour doesn't get Monsta, doesn't get wall cling storage. You hate to see it.
I've seen a few people get actually messed up by getting wall cling storage there. Both runners only take 1 hit throughout this section. Oh, or actually,
he spoke a little soon.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that. Sour wasn't done there. The tournament started on February 15th, and it will end towards the end of April.
Yeah, I think the 5 rounds will end toward the end of April, like end of April.
Sorry.
And then playoffs will probably go through May. My guess would be mid-late May when the tournament will end, but it's really anyone's guess once we hit playoffs.
Yeah, I would go as far as June, just because they're moving it to top 16, right?
Yeah, but there's also been talk of like having top 8 just be in a single day. I don't know how much like wishful thinking that is, but basically after group stage, so after these 5 rounds, we just don't know.
That's true. But yeah, sorry, I did mean to say that's when the Swiss format will end, and the brackets will begin.
So it looks like it quit out at 25 for Monsta. I'm sure Rix will give us the exact timings, but this is just like how Monsta works. His mid late game has been so clean. There's just no major mistakes. I think he might have missed basin jump once, But if that's your biggest mid-game mistake, you're living a good life.
Yeah, personally, I would expect this this 28-second gap to grow in the favor of MonStah. Hello, Blue. Thank you. Blue's in chat. Everyone celebrate.
Yeah, I think it's something to mention to newer runners too, and even if you're not running Hollow Knight, just newer speedrunners in general. Like, Sour saved like 5 seconds in the early game. MonStah got a 3:35 early game VS, which I think a lot of people would reset. But in a lot of runs, not just Hollow Knight, but Hollow Knight definitely falls victim to it. Like, that early game 5 seconds does not matter when you're losing 20 seconds every time you go into the Hornet 2 fight.
Yeah.
Not that these guys do, but I know there's a lot of like mid-level runners that'll try to really optimize VS when like they're still losing 20 seconds to Kingdom's Edge.
Yeah, I personally am working a lot more on my late game now. I realize that my early game is ridiculously good for what my PB time is.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just not conducive when you lose runs every time you get past Crystal Peaks to random stuff. So.
Oh, MonStah dashes here? Oh yeah, MonStah goes from true ending. I don't even think this is faster. If it is, it's fractions of a second faster, that C-dash that MonStah does. You'll see Sour do 2 C-dashes.
I'm actually quite curious why you just said it's from true ending. I actually have not heard that before.
I think MonStah just knows that from true ending. Like, you do it in all skills and true ending. It's not from true ending. But I know MonStah's been running true ending for a lot longer. My guess is that used to be considered the quote-unquote fastest strat from true ending, and he hasn't really learned that you just want to C-dash twice. Also, I think, and I could be wrong on this, I think it's marginally faster to do that. But if you mess up once, which MonStah did, having to readjust his C-dash, it's slower.
And here during this Hornet fight, we're seeing MonStah go for these Shade Soul double hits.
So sick.
Getting quite a few of them. He had 3 in a row. Gave away another Shade Soul there, but there wasn't really an opportunity to go for a double hit anyway.
Yeah, there's your parry.
Shade Soul parry. 4 seconds, apparently. Gone.
Cool dive, too.
Yeah, very good dive to end the fight.
There's a few things MonStah does in that fight that like I have not seen out of too many runners that look really cool. Like, he does a pogo over Hornet dashing. He gets extra hits. Sour also getting unlucky with the Shade Soul parry. Sour's having a much rougher fight. MonStah got a lot of doubles at the start, even though his end wasn't great. Sour's just not finding a groove in this fight yet.
Yeah, and I think I saw him go for what seemed almost like a safety D-Dark. Maybe getting a little nervous at that 2 HP. It can get, with Hornet being such a fast boss, you can go from 2 to 0 pretty quickly.
Yep, and you'll see the controversial dash slash early control there. Something that you can very easily invalidate your run doing.
Yeah.
What's Sour's PB?
MonStah does not. Sour's PB is a 50-55, I believe, or 50-56.
I think it's a high 50.
It's a high 50s. Yeah. 55. And then Vis's is a 54 right now. Just one behind that.
MonStah's also like a 55, but with a 49 out front. Sour's a mid 51. Nah, Blue Sour definitely has a 50 XX.
So someone was asking about how to invalidate runs. Or like how that works exactly.
Yeah.
You would be invalidating it if you got the early control even earlier, which would give you Invisible Knight. So there is a visual cue to indicate when it's safe to go for that. Most runners would know it by now if they go for it. Otherwise, they would probably not be submitting runs to SRC.
It's worth mentioning, too, for the tourney rule set, if you do that, we're not disqualifying you. I forget what we decided, but it's like a 5 or 10 second penalty or something.
It's 5. Yeah.
5, yeah. Something that it's definitely not worth it to you know, intentionally mess up, but it's not going to end your race.
Yeah. In general, I believe tournament organizers are saying no matter what the glitch is, the punishment for it should be about double whatever you would save from doing it. So you would save probably 2-3 seconds from that. So I made sure it just would never be worth it.
Yeah, and fortunately for the all skills run, that's kind of the only time that that's come up even talk of like how much time you should lose from that. There's not too many other places you'd see. I know there's been some like acid going under acid that people have talked about recently, but I don't follow it enough.
Yeah, that was. I think I'm not exactly sure, but somebody mentioned it in Queen's Gardens, or on the way to Queen's Gardens from Howling Wraiths. You can inventory drop into it and dash, and that is apparently a major glitch.
Yeah, it's considered out of bounds, I think. I don't know. I don't even know if the community's decided on that. It's a touchy subject right now. Float glitch. Yeah, I believe it. So it looks like about a 30-second lead. One of the places that I actually completely blanked on that Sour could make this up would be Umu if MonStah can't get the one cycle. There is a pretty consistent... That's unfortunate, MonStah taking damage there. There is a pretty consistent one cycle setup for all skills. But with an extra attack especially, even though there is like a safety, like in theory, right, you should never miss the one cycle, it's definitely possible that MonStah misses it. Or does that. Don't get hit by the explosion. Good job.
Yeah, being on 1 HP going into this drop would be definitely suboptimal. Even 3 HP can be a little scary. If he does take a couple more hits of damage, I wouldn't be too surprised to see him go for the Umu bench, but...
I love that Fog Canyon drop. Oh, Sour does the old version. Wait, Sour does like a hybrid. Not showing it off too well, to be honest, but I've never seen that drop from Sour, actually. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Oh my god.
He's fine, he's fine. Look away.
You're fine. Alright, so MonStah did not take that Umu bench, by the way, even on 3 HP, but yeah, he didn't take any extra damage.
Yeah, I think 3 should be fine for Umu. Like, especially if you're one cycling, it's almost hard to take 3 damage.
Yeah. I mean, what, he only gets 3 attacks, right?
Just Sour do axe
don't
drop?
get hit by every single one of them.
I don't know, Rhino. I don't know what the drop that Sour did through Fog Canyon was. Like, I've never seen it before, so I don't know what axe drop is either. MonStah getting pretty good distance from Umu. For those who don't know, the farther Umu goes, the less likely it is that Umu gives you an extra attack, and Umu has gone far enough. So, MonStah not getting an extra. We'll see what happens on Sour's screen. We'll see if MonStah makes this. Gets the double, needs 4 hits here. Yep.
There we go. Let's assume we're done. That's one of the audio keys that I am really glad we have MonStah's visibly in the lead for.
Sour didn't double. Wait, am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Sour didn't double the first or the second fireball. That's really rough.
Well, his biggest opportunity to make up time has, in all likelihood, meant the end of the race for him, I would say.
Yeah, it's
in terms of ability to win. But, you know, it's still going to be a fantastic show from him, I'm sure. Definitely means the end of any potential PvP phase 2. Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, Sour can't get a 50 with this. Sour can still pretty easily get a 51XX, and that's fun to see. I mean, again, like, these guys are 3-0. Even with these mistakes, they're going to be some pretty sick times.
Yeah, and I think Sour, you know, provided MonStah wins this race, I think Sour will do amazing in the 3-1 bracket against anyone. He can't face Vis again. He already beat him. According to Insomnia, the tournament is rematch proof, at least for Swiss. So I think Sour would. I would expect to see Sour 4-1 by the end of this tournament, and MonStah either at 5-0 with the same scoreline. So either one will get them to the top 16. So I'd be very excited to see a rematch when Sour has had, you know, maybe another almost a month or so of practice under his belt.
Yeah, for those wondering about how the tournament as a whole works, it's 5 rounds of Swiss, which we've kind of alluded to. And in the top 16 out of about 50, we've had some dropouts, but about 50 people. The top 16 will move on to the tournament stage or the knockout stage, or whatever you want to call it. Double elim, I think it is. So what that means is anyone going 5-0 or 4-1 automatically makes it, and we'll have a few people that are 3-2 as well.
So Sour missed some wall clings leaving archives, and then in the meantime, MonStah did a C-dash straight through the Uma, and it was terrifying. But he he sent it straight through that load zone, and he was totally fine.
Yeah, I wonder
Losing,
if... Go ahead.
oh, losing 2 HP here wouldn't be a huge deal anyway, just because they quit out right after, but still an interesting risk.
Yeah, I wonder if it's something Monster reacts to. Like, if they just get it, you won't be able to tell if they react to quitting that C-dash or not, but it might be that Monster is quick enough to tell if he's going to hit it, or it might be he just prays. It's also not unlikely. But yeah, there's 2 parts we go through that room. There's this split, Great Slash, and then there's the Wraith split. This is the much safer split to do it. It saves a little less time because your C-dash isn't going as far. But taking 2 HP here, you'll see these guys haven't taken a single point of damage between them through the entire split. Taking 2 HP wouldn't be the end of the world.
Yeah. According to Sierra in the chat, we did get to see an airwalk, which means that there is you get an extra dash in the air. Definitely helps for some nice platforming, leaving the Fog Canyon area.
Yeah, that's another thing I think was kind of recently, not discovered, but almost disproved or whatever. I think comp sub now actually goes for the lamp pogo. I think it's decided the lamp pogo is a little bit faster than that airwalk.
Oh. I didn't know I thought that the airwalk helped you get the lamp pogo. Must be mistaken.
No, with the airwalk you just dash through the lamp. You say, I don't care about you, lamp.
I see.
Comp sub is lamp pogo, yeah.
Yeah, they collect it.
It's close. Go ahead.
They collect Great Slash from Shio, and now they'll be basically on the home stretch. They're headed all the way from Archives to Hera with no benches in between, optimally at least. And then from there, they go ahead and get the final 2 abilities of the game, Shade Cloak, Abyss Shriek, and they're on to the Hollow Knight. So we'll see Monsta entering this Squid Arena very soon.
I just want to mention, it's so funny, like, a couple rooms ago, Monsta, like, messed up a room and started, like, scrambling, and it looked so scuffed. And it's so funny to see someone as good as Monsta, who has record, and again, like Chat's mentioned, has done hitless P5, messed that stuff up. Gives me hope. I love this. Monsta does the up slash on the right guy, so you end up closer to the gate, even though you do the arena slightly slower. I really like that strat.
And yeah, they're basically able to just spam spells here because they get a full soul refill here. It's even an opportunity to heal if you had soul left over. Monsta was... Oh, Sour misses that fireball and a few nail swings.
Yeah, it looks like both of them have employed that the right side up slash strat. Both at full HP though, that's good going into this area. Monsta misses a dash slash. Again, like, comparing Axe and Monsta at the very least, it feels like Monsta just has these weird rooms where he just kind of messes some stuff up. Like he's almost human or something, it's crazy. And then... But he's just so, like, good that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's been playing the game for a very, very long time. And Axe, at least, likes to say that at this point he barely even thinks about individual rooms or movement. He just lets his muscle memory carry him. And so I reckon a lot of the times where we see Monsta, like, scrambling after a small mistake, it's just, he's like, like, okay, I messed up the muscle memory bit. How do I actually...
That's funny. I like how Spirity said he missed most of the race, or they missed most of the race because they're here late. Whereas Monsta was an hour early because of time zone.
Yeah, might have the Eastern Daylight. Yeah, that's the time the clock rollback. Daylight savings time. There we go. That's
there
the one.
You go.
Yeah.
That Cyclone's pretty cool for Monsta. I don't know if we'll see Sour do the same Cyclone. This room here, the room before the dark room, to get through these spikes.
It's interesting that he didn't inventory drop or dive there. Just kind of fell slowly throughout that room.
Who?
Monsta. You went through that first dark room. You know where you normally dive onto the
Oh, did he not? Yeah, I didn't notice.
He didn't inventory drop at all. Like, inventory drop is faster than dive, to my knowledge, but it's RNG and you can take a hit. But he actually just, yeah, he just fell without any inventory drops through that whole section.
Monster with a little more of a dip than you like to see before using wings for that platform. I got scared for a sec. That would have been a way for Sour to just win.
So once in a run that was pretty dead for me, I went for the final underplat of the game, and I did not realize that falling there means you have to go through a dark room to get back up.
It means you're ruined, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, you'd have to.
Wait,
you'd have
what
to
did
learn.
Monster just do? Wait, what was that? He
I
like
think
dash slash? He only used
yeah,
one hit of
dash slash.
soul.
Yep.
That's a thing?
The dash slash can double hit, and if that happens, then yeah, you only need one dive.
Does it
and
normally?
I think it's a precise zone that you have to get into. Like it's just a specific area. It's a great
slash D-Dark. Oh, is it the thing where like your down hit of the D-Dark actually hits the devout because you're that close?
So now we're going for the Cyclone on Hera.
Why not?
Love to see it.
Yeah. Oh, that's hard. Yeah, I saw Spear the way out. I forgot that. Well, I didn't forget. I never knew that you could do it on the way in as well. I love this exit to Den, by the way. There's like a million cyclones you can do.
Yeah, and because Monsta only used one charge of soul, he had two leaving Hera. So he was able to just kill that devout and get it out of the way. Sour will have one hit of soul.
Sour misses the down hit.
Oh.
That's alright. That is how you farm Comsob by Monsta. Make sure that you have 2 hits of soul going into that devout. That is not a good cyclone slash by Sour. Oh no. That one is.
There we go.
I think Sour started the cyclone before he actually fell from the ledge, so he basically just was a helicopter.
Coming up is our trip to Shade Cloak. It will involve a very quick drop into the abyss, and then a equally quick, or not equally quick. That was an interesting CP inventory drop attempt.
He thought he dashed, and he didn't.
Oh, I see. Okay. I was like, even for a CP inventory drop,
he was very far right.
Very far from the ledge.
Is it possible Monsta might get world record PB? I don't think so. Like, there's been a few mistakes in here, but I don't know. I don't know what world record has for a Shade Cloak split. That's something that I can look at.
In the meantime, I'll just commentate over Monsta's abyss. Over Monsta's sibling climb. Shouldn't be too scary. He's very, very experienced.
Yeah, this shouldn't.
That C dash super early. I did not. Yeah, I've not seen that. I don't think. That was cool. Definitely minimizes the RNG from a sibling that can be high up there.
Yeah, world record is a 49-48. The world record split for Shade Cloak is a 45-45, which Monsta's already passed, so it should be a 50 for sure. I don't think it can 49. He'd have to play out of his mind to get a 49. Oh, rip Sour. You hate to see
Oh
it.
my god. Wow. Did not see what was happening there.
Yeah, and Sour has to go through this whole thing again. We're gonna free the grub, because why not? I respect it. So unfortunate for Sour. The kind of silver lining, if you want to call it that, is it's better to have that kind of a death versus Monsta on a race where you're 50 seconds behind anyway. Still not a death you want to see, but like, you know.
Yeah,
it's not the worst.
Yeah, in the 4-1 bracket, that could be the difference between a win and a loss.
Yeah, and in his defense, in the 4-1 bracket, I think it's a lot less likely he goes for as risky a climb.
Oh yeah, 3-1.
Or 3, yeah, you're right.
I was wrong first, so take the blame.
Yeah, I don't think Monsta. I mean, with a gold climb, a gold abyss streak, which he can't even get because he messed up a little bit of the movement earlier, and a gold THK, it's probably possible to get a 49. Like, it's not impossible, but it would be some kind of an insane late game.
Yeah, and the Hollow Knight RNG that we'll be seeing. They really want the knight to be standing still and absorbing all the damage from the Abyss Shriek, which is 120 damage per cast. But it can go as low as, 30 damage if the Hollow Knight teleports out or dashes through you or does any of the things that you don't want the Hollow Knight to do. So we'll be looking for that, seeing how many times it teleports out of his Abyss Shrieker, similar stuff. Much cleaner Abyss Climb from Sour. I believe he didn't bench leaving. He just has been on 3 HP this whole time. So really looking to redeem himself there, confident he wouldn't make the same mistakes.
Yeah, and
I would like
IL worthy Abyss Climb by Monsta, by the way.
Oh, beautiful. I would like to mention that the the sibling climb is a little bit RNG. The shades spawn in the same place every time, but they drift. So, and their drift is completely random. So, it's something you definitely have to react to. You can have a harder sibling climb or an easier one, and just seemed like either Sour got the short end of the stick or.
Yeah, I mean, you should always be able to avoid death, and I think Sour knows that too. It's just how fast you're trying to go and how bad the shades spawn.
Yeah, I hear sometimes with I browse the Hollow Knight main and I see people complaining about like Absrad RNG and they'll say like, oh, I got such bad RNG I died, and I'm like, that's like never the case. Like, yes, you can get like a really lame hit sometimes and lose 2 HP when you didn't expect it 3, even if you're over a void. But like in this game, I would say there's no such thing as just an RNG death. RNG can kill a run, like any percent extra attacks if you're a very very high level, but it's never going to mean that you just die out of nowhere.
Oh, that's such a good chain.
There we
Worth
go.
mentioning, Comsod for THK stream to finishing the run is under a minute. So Monsta can definitely get a 49. He had a really good Abyss Climb and a really good run to the THK. Yeah, okay.
So the THK fight would be grammatically correct.
The THK fight would work. The THK is questionable.
Yeah, definitely.
Good start, though. 1 dash. Couple hits, but I'm not too worried for Monsta's well-being.
Oh. Mainly this fight is about... Ooh.
It's okay. It started out really well. He's had a few unfortunate things. He's missed most of one Abyss Shriek at least. He's had a couple dashes, but he can definitely still 49 with this. No. Close. It's really close, but
you don't
I'll
think
be the bearer of bad news. Nah, it's like a 50-03.
Still an amazing run from him.
Yeah, low 50's great.
Had MonStah's world record not currently existed, that would be 3rd place. Or I guess
plus
other runs. Yeah.
Plus, it's worth mentioning. Yeah, 50-02 actually. It's worth mentioning. Like, this was a 335 VS with a 332. This is a 49.
Absolutely wild.
Monsta's insane.
Yeah, would have required. I mean, Sour can rest easy knowing that it would have required a 53 second PB for him to even stand a chance of winning this race. I guess you could. Oh, Sour knows the race is over. He's taking a little time loss to give us some fun, and that is a trade I will always take.
Helicopter night.
Let's go. It's done by Cyclone slashing right into that cutscene, and it's great. You can do some interesting stuff with the Cyclone slash. You can do that at the start of the Pure Vessel fight and just get slid all the way back. I think there's a few fights you can do that for, but Cyclone's a fun nail art, basically. Oh, he gets it too. That Cyclone chain breaking is really hard. I've tried it just casually. I don't know the movement exactly, but I haven't gotten anything like it.
Yeah, I haven't gotten close to it. I've just found it's faster for me not to try.
Yeah.
Oh, ugly start for Sour. Sour, don't die. Okay. Okay. Sour.
Yeah, 3 damage before. I mean, if he gets it to phase 3, he'll have time to heal no matter what. But, yeah, there we go.
Actually, not bad. The first couple hits were bad, but after that, he had a really good fight. Oh, Sour. His head goes there.
Head's always there, too. Oh
Dude.
my goodness.
Yeah, heal just for safety, why not? PB probably, like, PB attempt probably wouldn't heal there. Worth mentioning.
Right. But yeah, 2 minutes behind PB.
There you
Some
go.
room for relaxing. Man, do you think the tower was on PB pace before that death?
No, to be honest.
No.
He's like a minute behind Monsta. And that would be like a 51 about, which is close to his PB, but like he's only gonna lose more time to Monsta late game.
Yeah, 52 with a death though.
Like
Wild.
before that death, it's probably with Comsob it might be possible, maybe. But I wouldn't call it like PB pace, personally.
How much everyone has improved over the course of this tournament blows my mind. I'm so glad that so many people really put their heart into it. Because I'm pretty sure like a 53 was Sour's PB before this tournament started. So to see him beat that time in a race now,
Yeah.
it's just, I love to see it. Everyone's improved so much. Everyone's put so much work into this. It's been, I think it's been great for the community on the whole.
You should have an invite, Sour. I can do this, I guess. Trying to get Sour here. There's some technical difficulties. Okay, he's here. Do I drag them in, or do I tell them they can join?
You can do either. I
dragging
personally
them.
let
I'm
him
dragging
join.
them
Okay, there you go.
GG's.
I'm
You
abusing his
just
power.
pulled us.
Straight up pull this in.
GG's, guys. Congrats, Monsta, on the nearly 49. That's an insane time.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, okay. Sour, we were wondering, I don't know if you have your splits pulled up, but we were wondering if you were on or close to PB pace before the Abyss climb.
Probably not. I can open my splits real quick.
Yeah, we weren't sure.
I did lie to chat just a minute ago, by the way, and I said that I think this beats whatever your seed time was coming into the tournament, but that's not correct, apparently. Apparently I did have a 52:30.
I was
On your
ahead
way in.
at Crystal Heart, and then, yeah.
How far behind were you at Hera? I'm curious.
Well, this isn't by actual PB, but
Oh, right,
Hera
he was...
about 17-ish seconds.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because he had... I forgot about the Uma extra...
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Cycle.
there's an Umu. I
I
forgot.
don't know why I thought he was on PvP. It's just like, I thought he lost around 2 minutes to that death. Obviously he didn't.
I golded one thing, Pog.
Let's
Let's
go.
go.
I'm
Well,
curious also. Sorry,
At
go
that
ahead.
point,
What did you gold?
Cyclone Slash.
Oh, nice.
Yo, aren't you like really close to Comsob for Cyclone?
Yeah, I'm like 0.2.
Let's go.
I could check it real quick. I don't think I beat it though.
I was
What about-
curious, Monsta, if you thought you had a bad split. Because I don't think we thought a single one of your splits was actually bad.
Well, I definitely had some movement mistakes, but yeah, I didn't have anything like too time consuming. It was mostly small mistakes.
Yeah.
For example, on the way to Umo, I didn't get my dash off, and I got bunked by the spikes and stuff like that.
Oh, yes. Oh
I'm
yeah,
not
on the way to Abyss 2, saw you... you thought you dashed, or maybe dropped an input and your inventory dropped, and just onto the standing ground.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, small mistakes, yeah. No, pretty much. That's it. Nothing huge.
Something
think,
else. Go ahead.
I think like some of the stupidest time losses I had were missing levers with dash slashes. I did it on the way to Shade Soul and again on the way to Queen's Gardens.
What about that grub save on the way to Soul Sanctum? Was that premeditated, or is that just a heat of the moment? Oh, I gotta save this grub. It's so cute.
I don't know. Sour asked me to save grubs. I thought about it.
Oh, he never answered me, so I saved one anyways. I didn't have to clean up or anything. I didn't know if he did or not.
Yeah, Sour saved the Beast Den one.
Yeah,
Oh,
it didn't
cool.
matter. At that point, I might as well save an extra grub.
Yeah, he dash slash. So something interesting. I've seen a few people save that grub. I've never seen someone dash slash it through the wall like that. That was definitely the fastest way of doing that.
Yep.
It's neat.
Another thing I was wondering during the race, Monsta, is when you do the C dash out of archives or out of like the room leading to archives, because we saw in the Great Slash split you just went through the jelly. Is that something you react to, or you just pray?
I just stopped the C dash there. Regardless of what RNG there, I don't think I can humanly react to the jellyfish position.
Oh, I might be wrong. I thought for the Great Slash split you just went through it. I could be
Oh yeah, Great Slash I do. On the way to like Wraiths I don't, because
Yeah.
its 2 health can be really, really critical.
Yeah. Okay.
I try to react. It works like rarely.
Were either of you watching or listening, reading chat even
No.
during the race?
I personally didn't, but
Me
I
neither.
did feel like I had a pretty decent pace, so I did take a safety bench on the way to Hornets too. Just by feel, I didn't actually watch chat or anything.
Yeah,
Was
you
that the
were.
King Station bench?
Yeah, King Station bench.
You guys were even at dive. I think technically Monsta was a second ahead coming out of dive, but it started in C peaks. Sour kind of slowly started losing time to Monsta, and then obviously the death in the two cycle kind of sealed it for Sour, and then the death in Abyss Climb did not help.
Damn.
Wasn't Abyss a sibling climb?
Their sibling, yeah, sorry.
I have never had a worse pattern, but I also forgot that I took quite a bit of damage from that devout because I failed that strategy. So
No, the
I
devout-
might have
wait.
forgotten. The devout hit me twice, I think. So I had like less health than I thought.
Oh, okay.
So I was 2 hit, not 3.
Dang. Yeah. Any HP drop there would have got it, because even a single hit would have been same result, right?
Well, that's all I have. I can see if chat has lingering questions. But other than that, GG's, guys. Congrats on the win, Monsta. Congrats on 3-1 Sour. Still a great tournament score.
Yeah.
GG's.
What do you think, Sour, by the way? Easy 4-1?
No,
You're like the scariest person in that bracket now, right?
I don't know about that.
I mean, what? I mean, you can't face Vis. Like, Vis would be the other one, right? But, like, you can't face him. There's no rematches in Swift.
Spirity will probably be there, and Spirity will have a 50XX too.
Okay. I
That is
actually
a
did not
say,
know there was another 50.
Or Fair. Wait. What am I saying? Spirity. Sorry, I'm reading Spirity in chat. Ferris.
Okay,
I'm completely wrong.
Spirit has a 50XX. I was like, I didn't know about that. No,
Spirity's
you're right.
Spirity's asking. I presume Monsta was that THK Scream comp sub. Do you know?
THK Scream? I don't think so, but I can check.
I was gonna ask
let's
for any comp subs, yeah.
Yeah, Spirity's in chat saying like, I didn't think I had a 50.
Oh heck, it was a gold. No,
Let's
wait,
go.
what? I think one of my splits broke or something. Something doesn't look right.
Wow.
I'll figure it out in a moment. Like, my splits are weird. It
The
says that I
answer-
was 2 minutes ahead at some point.
Let's go.
Let's go.
The answer is maybe.
Maybe gold, maybe comp sub.
I think Monsta holds. I think you hold comp sub for that, right?
I
I think
actually,
a gold would be a comp sub.
I actually do have a question for Monsta. How many hours would you say you put into all skills specifically? I guess on a per week, because I know a lot of your practice and runs are offline. So it's a little harder to count your hours than people who stream every moment the pollen.
Well, in the past few weeks, I mostly just try to do some segment practice every now and then when I can, and like a few days before the race, I started doing no resets. That's mainly what I was doing, like for the duration of the tournament.
That sounds like a pretty solid practice regimen. About what you'd expect, I guess.
Yep.
It's apparently what it takes to get a very, very low 50 in a race. I think that's your best race time, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it should be the second best race time. I think Pisces got a 49, but I don't think anyone else has come that close.
Yeah.
Pisces did get a 49 on his last race, I think.
Nutty.
Yep.
PB'd.
Yep. Wild that had it been, had Monsta not existed, would have been a world record in a race. Would have been great. We'll just
Sorry
have to
for
count on you
existing.
to,
Sorry.
It's okay. You can make it up for us by world recording in your next run. Oh yeah, another question from Martha, I guess. How are you feeling against the opponents you expect to be 4-0?
I'm extremely scared. But also excited, yeah. It should be an interesting match in the next round.
All right. Well,
Yeah, should be fun.
I appreciate you guys sticking around to chat and breaking down the race for us. I think we're about done here, so.
Yeah.
I believe so. GG's again, guys. Good race.
GG's.
GG's. Thanks for the comms.